back block, and that's
the guy that rolls his body around.
Mike Drop Sports. Steel City Live.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports. We appreciate you for diving in with us here on our live show. Truly appreciate that. So thank you for joining us. Make sure you're putting your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the live chat as always. And we will get to your chat comments, your chat questions, all that good stuff. What's up, Justin Menike? What is up to Daniel Warman? Good to see you guys in the chat early. Make sure you guys are, though, putting your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the chat for us. We truly appreciate that. And I'm Jason. I'm your host, as always. If you're not watching it now, you can watch it later. But the Pittsburgh Steelers continue to push through training camp, and some of the injuries are starting to mount up. Thankfully, it hasn't been anything catastrophic as of yet to anybody that is a major player as of yet, we could say. But there are injuries happening across the board. Three knee injuries today in practice. Happening to Dean Lowry, a guy that just can't seem to stay healthy as of right now in his first couple years as a Pittsburgh Steeler. So that's become troublesome for Dean Lowry, a guy that you really want to start to see blossom. Jacob Slade and Azizi Oto. I never can say his last name. You know it. Look it up. Otto Mio or Atamiwu or something like that. I never can pronounce his last name. But they're all being evaluated for knee injuries. So we'll see what transpires out of that. Also, DJ Thomas Jones. That appears to be a torn Achilles, at least some reports that I'm seeing with that. So, yeah, he's continued to be out with that ankle/foot injury, if you want to classify it as that as of right now. But that is what is going on right now with those injuries. Plus, we will update you here in a second on the Broderick Jones and Isaac Seumalo situation. What is up, JD? Good to see you, my friend. But let's go into those big ones that everybody's talking about, everybody wants to know about right now, and that's the Broderick Jones, the Isaac Seumalo. Both are practicing. Both are back at practice. However, they're not competing in team drills. So you're seeing Isaac Seumalo, you're seeing Broderick Jones in individual drills right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's okay, a decent sign. But eventually here, and from what I'm looking at right now, what I'm seeing being reported in terms of the injuries, I expect to maybe see all five of the offensive linemen together probably next week. I think it's a possibility that sometime mid to late week, you will see Broderick Jones, Isaac Seumalo, Zach Frazier, Mason McCormick, and Troy Faetanu all together as a group of five. And that's exciting if you're a Steelers fan, considering there's a lot of young talent there. But the addition back to the lineup of Isaac Seumalo is imperative, my friends. When you look across this lineup, it's a bunch of second-year players. Then you look at Broderick Jones, he's a third-year player. The only real true veteran on that offensive line right now is Isaac Seumalo, and you need that veteran presence. You need that guy to steady that group. So I'm really excited to see Isaac Seumalo get back into the fold and get back into possibly playing some football here early in training camp. What's up, Austin Gossel? Good to see you, man. I'm doing well, thank you. But good to see all of you. Make sure you're hitting that like button, hitting that share button. You can follow us on YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff, Facebook. Make sure you go and like us on Facebook and follow us there. We're trying to build that up so we can live stream there. I still haven't figured out how to live stream like simultaneously onto TikTok, which we got to figure that out. But I selected on here, but it doesn't seem to happen. But anyway, no big deal. We'll get there. But yeah, we'll continue to build those platforms. And I want to say I'm super pumped. So all of you that have helped over on TikTok so far. We had our first video, our first TikTok video hit 60,000 views over there. So I was ultra excited about that. We are almost up to 200 followers there, which is absolutely awesome. Considering, we started from the mud, just like we started here at YouTube with 0 followers, man, and build it out without boosting anything and paying all those fees that try to boost your stuff. So we've done that and build it up, and we're almost up to 200. We have another video that has like over 16,000 views. So I'm really excited about what you guys have helped me do over there. Steelers #1, that's from Ernesto Ortega. Yeah, we'll take it, man. Uh, but when we were just talking about that, guys, to get back to the Steelers, you talk about Broderick Jones, you talk about Isaac Seumalo. You think to yourself, who's replacing those guys if they aren't in the lineup? You're looking at Spencer Anderson at the guard position, Dylan Cook playing that tackle position for Broderick Jones. So those two guys would be inserted right now as the roster sits if those two can't go. So you look at the backups and you say to yourself, are they solid enough to get the job done? And as of right now, I mean, you're going to just have to live with it. The depth isn't there in terms of being able to have luxury of changing players around if there's any type of poor performance. So you're kind of stuck there. Dylan Cook, Spencer Anderson. I have high hopes for Spencer Anderson. I don't foresee him ever going back out and playing tackle again. I think that experiment's over. I think Spencer Anderson is a guard. Maybe he can be a fill-in backup center. But I don't see him out there at the tackle position at all. That's why you see Dylan Cook out there taking those reps. So yeah. That's what is going on with the offensive line. And we'll continue to go through. Make sure you're putting your comments, questions, and concerns here in the live chat as the Pittsburgh Steelers continue to march through training camp and continue to build this team. Armand, is TikTok the one where you do 2 minute uh yeah, you can do like 2 minute videos there. You could go. I have since we had such a quick start on there, they gave me live feed privileges, so I can live stream there, which I did live stream once, but it wasn't very successful. So we'll continue to build that up. But yeah, we're almost up to 4,000 likes, I think, too, on there. So yeah, it's a platform where it's a lot of short videos. Yes, absolutely. Berserker in the house. What's up, man? Will Howard is our future guy. Whoa. Um, I don't know if he is, but I gotta say this, guys, and I gotta say this. And Berserker brings up something that a lot of people are talking about right now, and that is Will Howard really, really being exciting in terms of what he's doing in training camp, in terms of how this has all went down, man, and what he's been able to do thus far. Everybody's pretty excited with that. So definitely exciting times for Will Howard, and definitely exciting times for the Steelers. If you were able to hit on a 6th round pick and that player is able to be your franchise quarterback moving forward, how exciting would that be? And how big of a momentum shift, and how big of a luxury would that be for the Steelers that they didn't have to exhaust a high draft pick to get that quarterback, because that allows you to continue to take guys that are ultra meaningful inside of the trenches. That gives you chances to go out and get running backs like Caleb Johnson in the 3rd round. It gives you the opportunity to draft a center in the 2nd round like a Zach Frazier. And again, continue to get those big time pieces in the trenches. You look at what they did with Derek Harmon and Y.A. Black, two guys that I believe are going to make an instant impact here in 2025. Guys that are going to be able to move the needle for the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of their defensive trenches. And that's the type of thing you can continue to do if you're Omar Khan, if by chance you get lucky and a guy like Will Howard is able to perform and perform at a high level and become your franchise quarterback. Now, that's a big what if, a big what if. And just because he's doing okay right now in training camp and starting to open some eyes up there, I don't think he's really shocking anybody at the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, because they drafted him for a reason. They had high hopes for him for a reason. They really invested in him in terms of their research and meeting with him, and they really did their homework on Will Howard, and they were ultra comfortable taking him, especially in the 6th round. And once they saw him not come coming off the board, they were very comfortable with just waiting and taking him at their leisure. And they were excited when they got him in the sixth round because they knew that they really thought that they had something inside of Will Howard. So if everything works out, maybe it happens. Maybe that's the way this thing all unravels. But damn, would that be a huge benefit for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Not only does it give you the opportunity to continue to draft high guys that are non-quarterbacks, to continue to build this roster in a massive way, but what also it gives you is another handful of years to where you're not paying a quarterback an ultra high salary, where you can continue to bring in big name free agents, where you can continue to take on big time contracts to continue to build this roster in that way also. The Steelers are a team that builds through the draft. We've known that all the time. That's what they like to do. That's the Steeler way of building a roster. And I love it. I love to bring in homegrown type talent, guys that you pick, guys that are from your organization. But I also like to see what they did this year, where they've brought in and traded for and picked up in free agency a ton of players that are veterans, a ton of players that do demand a little bit of money to bring in. And I love that too. I love doing it both ways. And I love that the Steelers focus their attention on the draft and make and ensure and let everybody kind of know we build our team through the draft and we supplement our team through free agency and through trades. And I think Omar Khan has started to really hit this thing pretty damn good and really have a good flow and really has made this thing work in a big time way, in my opinion. I think he's done a phenomenal job. Let's continue to go through here. Mark Collins. Will Howard is a very smart, intelligent quarterback. He picks things up very quickly. He can read defenses. He has a decent arm, and he has above average accuracy, quick release. He works very hard, reads film. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. You want a guy that has an ultra high work ethic, and Mark points that out. Hey, he's a hard worker. He's coming to work every day, and he's bringing that brain, man. He's soaking up what Aaron Rodgers is putting down. You hear what Aaron Rodgers has said. I will teach him anything he wants to know. And that is a rarity in the NFL, guys, because these 99% of the time, when you bring in these veterans, they aren't there to teach people. They don't want to teach people because they're not teaching somebody to take their job. They're not willing to do that. And to have the opportunity for Aaron Rodgers to understand that he is in the winter of his career. This is kind of it, man. This is his swan song here with the Steelers. This is his last go. Whether it's this year or next year being his last year, that's still undetermined, and I don't think it is set in stone just yet. But that's another conversation for another day. But having the ability to study from Aaron Rodgers, a guy that can throw from odd arm angles, a guy that really has just done it at a high level inside of the National Football League, to soak up all that knowledge for a rookie quarterback, especially a guy that doesn't have immense pressure on his shoulders, that people aren't expecting to start tomorrow, that aren't putting the whole weight of a franchise on their shoulders. It gives Will Howard a tremendous opportunity to develop and not have that crazy media circus surrounding him, not having the conversation day in and day out about when are they going to start, when are they going to get inserted into the game. He doesn't have that. He can sit back and work his ass off each and every day. And I think that's what's going to pay monster dividends to Will Howard, because this is football, folks. Injuries happen, things happen, players move in the National Football League. It's not like the days of old when players stuck around in one spot all the time for years and years and years. It's a rarity. So Will Howard is going to get an opportunity one day. It's inevitable. He's going to get a chance. But what Will Howard does with that chance is going to be the real question, and what really determines how his career will really go here. So he has to seize that opportunity. He has to be in the film room. He has to take the reps that are available to him in camp and really do some special things with it. And I'm not saying he needs to go out there and look like Joe Montana or Dan Marino. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to go out there and look like Big Ben Roethlisberger, the savior of the Steelers here in Latrobe. He doesn't have to do those things. What does he have to do right now? He needs to just make Mike Tomlin, Arthur Smith, and the franchise just be comfortable with Will as a quarterback, to say to themselves, you know what, if it came down to it and we got to play Will, I'm okay with it. That's what Will Howard has to do. He doesn't have to go out there and wow anybody. He doesn't have to go out there and make any type of crazy plays. He just needs to be consistent. He needs to have a great understanding of the offensive schematics, and he needs to really start to gel with his teammates. He needs to gain the trust and build that camaraderie with his teammates, to where if he is ever inserted and he does come into that huddle, that those guys aren't going to look at him any differently than they look at Aaron Rodgers or Mason Rudolph. They're going to look at Will and say, that's a dude that we can trust, man. So that's definitely what Will Howard has to do right now. And I believe he's on pace right now for just what I'm speaking of. I think that that opportunity will come eventually. Do I think right now, as it sits, the Steelers plan on taking a quarterback in 2026? I believe so. But I think the development of Will Howard will dictate whether or not that quarterback's a very high pick, or if that quarterback's somebody, that they get like they did with Will later in the draft. I truly believe that. Everybody wants to say, no, it's a slam dunk. The Steelers are getting a quarterback next year early in the draft. No, it isn't. I told you that last draft. I told you that the draft before. I've told you that all the time. The draft isn't a set in stone thing. The draft has to come to you. And as an organization, you allow the draft to come to you. You don't force the issue. You don't go out there and make stupid trades and stupid moves. You don't go out there and overdraft players if you don't have to. You allow the draft board to come to you. You take the best player available when it's time. And I can believe the Steelers will continue to follow that. And I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers have high hopes on Will Howard, too. So I don't think it's a slam dunk that they go out there and draft somebody. You have to see how this year goes first, with Will Howard, with Aaron Rodgers, with Mason Rudolph, before you go out there and make any this is what we're doing type moves right now, this early, before the 2025 season has ever even started. What's up? Who got injured? We read those off earlier. Foot's big. Good to see. You have Dean Lowry, Jacob Slade, and Azizi Otomiwo. I can never say his name. I'm sorry. But anyway, it is what it is. But they all are suffering knee injuries. We talked about Broderick Jones and Isaac Seumalo back at practice doing some individual drills, so we're excited about that. Daniel Warman, do you think Jack Sawyer will get much playing time this year? I believe Jack Sawyer is showing the coaching staff everything that he needs to right now, and I believe that he will be involved into the rotation. But we have to recognize this, Daniel. That they have Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt. So the reps in game are going to be very limited. And I think the Steelers find themselves in a great situation, though. They can give Jack Sawyer and Nick Herbig the opportunity to get into that rotation with Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt, and give Watt and Highsmith the ability to not have to be out there for 98%, 99% of the snaps, So I believe that you will get to see a little bit of Jack Sawyer. I believe he'll play special teams, which he has to. And I believe that you'll see him defensively. I'm not saying that you'll see him a ton, but I do believe that he'll get, what you saw with Nick Herbig. And then maybe even a little bit more depending on his performance. And I think that's all dependent on Jack through those first like 3, 4, 5 games to his performance. How's he performing on special teams? And then also, again, all dependent on injuries. So to really pinpoint how many reps Jack Sawyer will get here in 2025 is a difficult one, because there's a lot of variables at play. But I do believe you will see Jack Sawyer. But how much is very difficult to put down. So I'll say right now, if everybody remains healthy, you'll kind of see him like you saw Nick Herbig in his rookie year, and how that all transpired. Mark Collins, I will say I believe a Rodgers comeback next year if we have a really good year. If he is so competitive, Yeah, he is so competitive. I have a feeling if we have a really good year and fall short, he comes back. 12 picks next year. Yeah, I believe that to be the case too. This is how I believe Aaron Rodgers comes back next year. And it's similar to what Mark's saying. I believe Aaron Rodgers comes back if the Steelers make it to like an AFC championship game and they fall short. You know, they lose a heartbreaker or something like that to where they were oh so close and they have a really good, solid roster. A lot of those guys will be returning and all that. The team will be intact. 12 picks, like Mark said, next year, to where the Steelers could heavily invest back into more weapons and continue to roll with Rodgers, Mason Rudolph, and Will Howard. I believe that would be the situation to where you see Aaron Rodgers make it one more go around the sun. But I do believe this: if the Steelers were to by chance win a seventh Lombardi Trophy, behind Aaron Rodgers, I believe that's it. He walks off, and I don't blame him because I would too. If Aaron Rodgers could hoist the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the 2025-2026 season here, you walk off and you don't come back. And that's how you end it. So I believe it's got to go. That's the only way he comes back. It's not to defend a title. I don't believe he does that. I believe that he would be very happy with walking off as a champion, but I believe if they get real, real close and it's a heartbreaker at the end, I believe he'll give it one more go to see how everything rolls. Good evening, Miss Pittsburgh in the building. What's up, Miss P? Foot's big. Will Howard won't start this season unless Rodgers gets injured and Mason stinks up the joint. Yeah, like I said, Foot's big. There's a lot of variables at play, but I will say this: we know it's football, and opportunities happen. And you could get an Aaron Rodgers that's nicked up for a game or two, and maybe by some weird chance, Mason Rudolph's nicked up at the same time to where he can't go for a week or two. And all of a sudden, Will Howard finds himself in a situation where he's going to get a spot start in week 4, week 5, week 8, week 10, something like that. We don't know. Just one weird fluky spot start, and he comes out there and he does really, really well, and he shows great command of the offense, and he does some good things. That's what Will Howard's got to wait around for. And those opportunities come around in football because it is a violent game. And I know they've watered it down with the rules a little bit, but this is still a man's man game. Man's man game. It's a violent sport. It's a sport that you have to come and bring your all every single snap. And those things happen. Injuries happen. So, Will Howard's got to be patient, continue to work hard, and soak up as much from Aaron Rodgers as he possibly can. And when that opportunity comes, it's up to Will whether he seizes it or not. All right, let's keep going, guys. Make sure you are hitting that like button, share button, all that good stuff for us. Make sure you're following us on TikTok, X, giving us a like and a follow over on Facebook. And if you're not subscribed here on YouTube, make sure you are. Hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free to do. We truly, truly appreciate that as the season is really starting to get going. And we will just be putting out more and more and more here at Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. As always, if you're not watching it now live, you can watch it once it uploads. Or if you missed the beginning of the show, you can rewatch that beginning there. Danny George, what's up? Miss Pittsburgh is in the building. Absolutely, baby. Absolutely. Tom Ford ain't no party like a Diddy party Ford. What's happening, Jason? And the rest of the chat. What is up, Tom? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm just going through here, guys. I love it when you guys are talking back and forth. It makes me feel like we got a solid group, man. We always do. I love it. All right, guys, I'm going to get a little sip here. Mark Malone says, I believe Rodgers wasn't bullshitting when he said this is it. I don't think he's bullshitting either, but I think that there is a variable that brings Aaron Rodgers back. I think that variable is what I was talking about. If he makes it to where they're a game away, a play or two away, a heartbreaker, that you know how those things go, guys. It's 4th and 5 and you're at the 20 and you need to score and, you just fall 5 yards short or 6 yards short, and that's a tough pill to swallow. That's a tough pill to swallow for an ultra competitive person like Aaron Rodgers, like a National Football League player. Uh, and it's hard to walk away when you're that close. So I believe that's a situation to where he comes back. Um, but I think all in all, I believe he isn't bullshitting, that he wants this to be his last year. And I think what he believes is going to happen is that he is going to guide the Pittsburgh Steelers to a seventh Lombardi trophy. I truly believe that's his mindset right now, and that should be his mindset. But, that's why he's talking the way he is, because he believes it. He wants that to happen. That's what he's here for. That's what he came for, and that's how he's going to handle it from now until the end of this year. And once the off season hits, the outcome of the season is made available. We get to see what happened, and then I believe he'll really truly make that final determination on what he will do. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights in the house. What's up? Happy Thursday. Go Steelers from Daniel Berry. Good to see you. Robert Road in the house. It depends on the draft class, as wow, it is too early right now. The early prediction by NFL scouts have about 5 quarterbacks projected to go in the first round. Howard won't get the reps to judge him. Yeah, I mean, as it sits right now, no, he isn't going to get the reps. And there are going to be a bunch of quarterbacks that are out there in the draft, like Robert just said. So I don't disagree with any of that. But again, guys, the variables of the what ifs, it's football, and a lot of those what ifs come true sometimes. So that's the thing, and that's why I say, yeah, as it sits, if you're a Steelers fan or you're the Steelers organization, you're planning on probably taking a quarterback next year in 2026. But it's not a slam dunk, because you have to see how this year plays out. That's just how it goes. And I know a lot of fans want the answers. They want to know, what are the Steelers going to do in 2026? How are they going to handle this draft? They have 12 draft picks right now. How are they going to spend those picks? Are they going to trade up? Are they going to do this or that? You just don't know. And anybody that tells you a definitive answer, they're just bullshitting you. They don't know either. Nobody knows just yet. And that's the real thing. You just have to see how this all plays out. Absolutely. A lot of original Mafia folks in here. Still, I'm trying to shoot for Saturday too, Danny, so you might see me, bro. Foot's big. Do you think we will keep all 4 quarterbacks? I think the answer is no there. Foot's big. I think they keep 3. I think they keep Howard, Rudolph, and Rogers, of course. That's what I believe. I don't believe they keep 4. I don't believe there's any way for them to stash Skylar Thompson into a practice squad role. If that's possible, maybe they do, but they only keep the 3. Wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh. Here we go, Steelers. I know some of you can't see it on this app, but those are the towel emojis that she's waving. I need to figure out how to get those to come on there. That's definitely something we love to have. All right, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and make sure you are sharing the show. Let's continue to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers training camp session today. No pads, but regardless of no pads, the Steelers still come out, and there was a lot of fire, a lot of competitiveness out there today on the practice field. A lot of fights, a lot of fire in their bellies, man. And you got to love that competitive fire. You really, really do if you're a fan. Um, yesterday was a big day. Pat McAfee up there. Only, I believe, 3 people only got arrested, 2 or 3 people. So, it must not have been too big of a party. But Pat McAfee had that place jumping yesterday. So, definitely exciting time for the fans. Guys at St. Vincent College that work in security talking about how they've never seen it like that. People parked everywhere, all crazy. That it was one of the bigger crowds they've ever seen in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, for a Pittsburgh Steelers training camp session. So that's awesome. And don't forget, Friday, tomorrow, is the Friday night light session at Latrobe Memorial Stadium, the home of the Latrobe Wildcats. I believe they're the Wildcats. I believe that's what they were when we played them in high school. But yeah, the Latrobe Wildcats. Latrobe Memorial Stadium. If you're going to go, I will caution you this, and this is a little bit of advice. Go very early because the parking up there near Latrobe Memorial Stadium, which is their high school stadium, for Friday Night Lights is atrocious. You will have a very difficult time parking, and I will tell you, the police will ticket you if you do something crazy. So make sure that you get up there early, get that parking spot, and prepare to stay a little bit late and let the crowd clear out. That's how you get in and out of there. Get there early. You can walk around. There's some gas stations, things like that. You could get probably a snack or something, go inside of the stadium and get a snack, do whatever. But you could kill some time, man. Tailgate, hang out, do what you need to do. But get there early and stay a little bit late, and you'll have a blast. You'll have a great time. And if you've never done Friday Night Lights, I suggest you do it at least once as a Steeler fan because it's a real true pilgrimage, man. To go up there to Latrobe Memorial Stadium and just watch what is a really fun practice. The players are very interactive with the fans, and I believe you will really enjoy your time. There's always a celebrity or two roaming around the sidelines that come to watch the team on those nights too. So you will not be disappointed if you are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan come tomorrow, Friday Night Lights. We talked about Dylan Cook, Spencer Anderson stepping in during team sessions, team drills. For your Steelers in the absence of Ciamalu and Broderick Jones. I think that's the major takeaway of what you want to start seeing next week. I believe late to midweek in week 3, you start to see that starting five of the Steelers and start to see them maybe get that cohesion, that gelling period that they so desperately need as a group, considering the young talent. So I believe that's the biggest storyline heading into next week's practices is the return of Broderick Jones and Isaac Ciamalu to full practice. I believe that's what you want to see. So yeah, we're going to continue to go on a little bit of some of the highlights, I guess, some of the things that are going on with camp. The toss play isn't dead, my friends. The toss play in Arthur Smith's system is still there. I know that could be very sad for some of you, considering they ran it 56 times a game in 2024, and I threw things at my TV because I got sick of seeing it. But before practice, they were working guys like John Smith in with the toss game and things of that nature, and it just makes you just want to go crazy because you know you don't want to see that toss play over and over again this year. And I really hope they're a lot more versatile to where we don't have to see it. But John Smith, guys, has already had like 19, 20 carries throughout training camp in terms of reps and carrying the football. So that's going to be an element to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense that they plan to utilize. And that's why John Smith's addition this year in the offseason with the Jalen Ramsey trade was so very important. And I believe the Steelers wanted to have John Smith more than they wanted anything out of that trade. And Jalen Ramsey was just an absolute massive bonus to it. I believe they wanted that versatility of John Smith. And nobody talks about the Steelers' ability to really truly be out there in a 4 tight end set if you really wanted to. You could go out there with a Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, John Smith, and a Connor Hayward set along with a Caleb Johnson or Jalen Warren and still be very versatile and able to throw the football but be able to run it like a tank, man. And I really believe that that's something the Steelers might really utilize. And Steeler fans, you might really want to watch out for a 4 tight end set this year that the Steelers will out there that really might shock some people. That personnel grouping could be something that the Steelers have that nobody else does. And it could really be a mismatch nightmare for opposing defenses. You just don't know. So that's something to look for, definitely. But the toss game, John Smith, he's in it, man. But man, it's exciting to see Johnny Smith and his flexibility, and I believe that he is going to be a really solid addition to that Pittsburgh Steelers offense in 2025. Also, Danny Smith. he's been emphasizing, man, a lot of the fundamentals on those special teams groups, and he's been typical Danny Smith, really emphasizing on, especially like during punt return, he's been really emphasizing staying in your lanes and really being able to come down and crack that guy returning the football. He's been working with some people there on those types of things. You see Roman Wilson get some reps in terms of special teams, so that might be something that you get to see in terms of kickoff return or maybe even a punt return or something. But you may get to see Roman Wilson in a return game aspect here in 2025. Roman Wilson, though, hasn't really been involved all that much so far in camp. That's not been a big thing. Guy injured early in camp last year, like the third practice. High hopes, man. Everybody was wowing about his speed last year before he got hurt, blah, blah, blah. But he got hurt and spent most of the year on IR. Injured reserve was his home. And then there was some rumors that he wasn't really understanding the playbook, and that's why he kind of remained in that injured status, that he could have probably come back, but he wasn't up to speed. And Mike Tomlin wasn't willing to jeopardize that and bring him in. So Roman Wilson, again, hasn't been ultra involved. He's had some flashes here and there and some drills, one on ones, and things of that nature. I believe he caught something big in a one on one drill against Joey Porter, maybe, or somebody like that. Or maybe it was Slay or something. I can't remember. There's so many of those things. But he's not been very visible. And that's not a good sign. You want to see him start to get incorporated. And I think he did a little bit starting today. So they weren't in pads today, so you appreciate the fire and all the fights. Calvin Austin getting messy with some people, with I believe Jalen Ramsey. So you got to see some of those things, but again, Roman Wilson has to be a guy we watch moving forward here, seeing how he's getting more and more incorporated. Calvin Austin has been Calvin Austin, man, and he's been incorporated. So I believe Calvin takes a big step this year, especially with a valuable quarterback like Aaron Rodgers that can facilitate the football to him down the football field. So those two guys, continue to watch them. Also, another note here before we move into more of your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the live chat. Make sure you do that, and we will kind of move the show into the chat here after this. I do want to point out Cole Holcomb has been a participant throughout camp, but yesterday he ditched the sleeve. He didn't have the sleeve on his leg, and then you see it come back today for Cole Holcomb, but he has been a participant. I'm not sure if that's a sign of anything, or maybe things were just a little bit sore and he wanted that compression, that sleeve put back onto his leg to provide maybe a little bit more sense of stability. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But Cole Holcomb, again, did have the sleeve, but has been participating and has been sharp, according to many. So that's really interesting. And when I get up to camp, Cole Holcomb is somebody that I'm really going to emphasize and watch, definitely, because I believe he could do some really nice things if he is healthy inside of a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform in 2025. All right, guys, we will get back to the chat. Like, share, all that good stuff. Let's get back to the chat. We'll start with Tom Ford. Personally, I don't believe the Steelers will get this player, but I heard talk of the Steelers being one of the top contenders to land Scary Terry. I'd love it if they did, though. Absolutely, Tom. I believe that it would be awesome, and I believe there is still a massive move that is going to be made. According to overthecap.com, the Pittsburgh Steelers remained at about $17 million in available cap space, and you look at some of the contracts that are on their roster currently that are able to be restructured to make more cap space in 2025. But I have to warn you about Scary Terry McLaurin, guys. He is not, the Steelers probably aren't going to be able to do what he needs. He wants a contract that is bigger than DK Metcalf's. He has used DK Metcalf's as that bar for him of where he wants to be. He wants to make more than DK. So I'm not sure the Steelers are willing to do that. Maybe they get him on some sort of 1 year type thing to go all in with Aaron. I don't know. But that would be cool. But I got to say, I highly doubt it. But I do believe there is still a move out there for the Steelers. I just don't know if that name is Scary Terry McLaurin. Let's go, people. Let's hit the shit out of the like button and subscribe to the best show in the nation. It's right here. Let's go. Thank you, Miss P. We appreciate that. Huge ass forever. Will Howard looked good today. Just cut Thompson now and maybe Mason. You want them to cut them? They're not going to cut Mason. They gave him a 2-year deal for $8 million, and he's a veteran insurance policy that's won games for the Steelers. So that won't happen. He'll be the number 2 this year. Mark Collins says, if anyone believes we're going to draft Arch Manning are dreaming. For one, we are going to finish in the AFC Championship Plus. Um, isn't coming out. He's going to finish his senior year. Yeah, I don't know who. I'll deal with that, Mark. Whenever the draft comes up, and I never speculate of who's going to be available. I wait till those guys declare and are in the draft because I'm not going to go out there and do a ton of research and a ton of have a ton of expectations for a player being inside of the draft that doesn't even come out. I wait to see who's going to be in the draft for sure. Then I make sure that I give my draft predictions and things of that nature off of people that are actually going to be in there. No doubt about that. What's up, Tyler? Mike Drop Sports. Hello there. How's life? Life is good, man. Hope life is well for you. Also, wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh. Robert Road. At least it won't be the toss play with Najee. Yeah, because Najee did not fit in that. Uh, Najee just don't fit in that zone run scheme, Arthur Smith. Now, he did okay. I like Najee. I don't think Najee's a bad player. But man, he just did not fit in the Arthur Smith scheme the way I would have liked. I watch Caleb Johnson right now taking reps, and I see a vastly different running style. I even watched Jalen Warren last year. I watched Jalen Warren now. I believe Jalen Warren should have got more snaps than Najee Harris last year. But Jalen had some injuries and things of that nature. But I think Jalen Warren's a better running back in the system of Arthur Smith than Najee Harris was. And that's system dependent, guys. I'm not saying Jalen Warren's so much better than Najee Harris. I don't believe that to be true. I think Najee Harris is a phenomenal athlete, good size. I think sometimes he plays out of character. I believe he tries to be somebody he's not a lot of times, and that's what hurts Najee. But I believe Jalen Warren inside of the Arthur Smith scheme definitely should have deserved more reps, and in my eyes, considering what their style of play is. Footsblig, I think we could get our first shutout in years this season. Yeah, I think this defense, Footsbig, is going to be absolute dogs, my friend. I believe this is a top 3 defense now, before anything ever is even played. I believe on paper, this is a top 3 defense to me in the National Football League. I think it's probably the best defensive front in the National Football League, if you ask me, if not one of the top 2 in terms of if I'm ranking them, definitely. I look at the additions of Y.A. Black and Derek Harmon. I believe that that is such a huge boost for that defensive front. And awesome addition with Cam Hayward and Keanu Benton. That's what I'm most excited for this season defensively. No doubt about it. It isn't Jalen Ramsey. It's not Darius Slay. It's not Porter Jr. It's not Deshaun Elliott for me. It's not TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith. It's none of those guys. The players I'm most excited to see inside of the Steelers defense this year are the 2 rookies, Y.A. Black and Derek Harmon, because I believe Derek Harmon is going to be a freaking monster, guys. Not just a regular player. I believe he has the potential to be a real rock star, a real superstar in the National Football League. I think he is a player that comes equipped with day one starter type talent. I truly believe that. I believe that he has been really studying. I believe that he has a great work ethic. I believe that he has a great fundamental, just a family type guy, a guy that cares about the right things. I just believe that Derek Harmon has a great head on his shoulders, works his ass off, not to mention all the physical and athletic attributes that he has. And I believe he is going to be a rock star for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I look at Y.A. Black, and the potential for him to do some really exciting things is there also. I believe Y.A. Black is going to be another guy that is a home run. I just think development for those 2 is ultra imperative here during camp and the few preseason games they have. But I believe getting them reps early in the season, really formulating a quality rotation with Cam and Keanu and those guys, and really getting those guys involved and allowing them to get acclimated to the National Football League is ultra important and really something the Steelers really have to focus on, because I think the potential for them to be exciting and amazing is really, really high. What's except Johnu and Muth suck at blocking. I wouldn't say Johnu sucks at blocking. Muth has sucked in the past, but he was never in there really during the run play, so we really can't say if he sucked last year. Everybody knew when he wasn't in there, the Steelers weren't they were running the football when he wasn't in there, and when he was in there, they knew he was going to pass. So they got to mix that up, and I think hopefully Muth develops better into a better blocker. And I believe Johnny Smith is a guy that's willing to do the dirty work. He's willing to block, and I've seen tape of him being a effective blocker. So I'm not ultra concerned about them. And again, if you're in multiple tight end sets, every one of them does something different. So hopefully that benefits them, and maybe hides some of the deficiencies that one has that one doesn't. Let's see what's coming in there. JD with a super chat. Thank you, JD, for the super chat coming in from JD. He says, "Great show, much, much appreciated, JD. Thank you, my friend. Definitely appreciate JD as always." Foot's big. December 24th, 2011 was our last shutout. 24-0 versus the Rams. Oh, wow. That's wild statistic, isn't it? It's hard to get a shutout in the National Football League in today's world. Tom Ford, ain't no party like a Diddy party Ford. Have you heard from Epic lately? Grown W. No, he was Sean was down in Hawaii, man. That tsunami warning. I texted him. He never texted me back. I said, "Let me know that you're safe, man. I don't care what time it is. Let me know you're safe." But I never heard back from him, so I'm gonna have to give Sean a call. Today's rules and better kickers make shutouts very hard to come by. Absolutely, Robert. No doubt about that. Mark Collins. Connor Hayward doesn't make this roster. Tight end JJ Gilbride takes his job. Maybe, Mark. But JJ Gilbride doesn't have a brother on the football team that's a one helmet rock star player either. And Connor plays special teams pretty well too. So I don't see how he makes the roster. I don't want him on the roster. I'd rather have somebody new to see, but I believe he'll be there. I meant to just say, have you heard from now? Yeah, it's all right, man. Like I said, very, very briefly, he's been coaching and working, and he's on day shift too. So it's like the time difference messes it up. But we'll be back for football, no doubt, with Sean. Hit that like button. Just do it. Absolutely. From Foot's Big. Wave that terrible towel for Miss P. We truly appreciate that. Mark Collins. Don't forget Hall of Fame game, 8 p.m. tonight on NBC. Oh, we'll go check that out, guys. It's the first taste of real football for the season. Tom Ford ain't no party like a Diddy party. Najee haters try to jump all over everybody. Yeah, Najee always tries to jump over people, and I don't know why. Jamal McCullum in the house. Made it what I miss, fellas. Hey, we're just talking ball, man. Throw anything you want to talk about in there, Jamal. Armand, I agree. Top 3D. The big question is, can offense control the ball 34 minutes to 26? That helps Pittsburgh be the number 2 in short. Yeah, time of possession is going to be ultra key. That's your best defensive weapon, time of possession, no doubt about it. Terry requested a trade. That's from East Central 11. Yeah, I hope I said that right. East Central 11. Yeah, that's from East Central 11. He says Terry requested a trade. Boomtown, just an agent tactic. JD again giving that awesome super chat. We always appreciate that from JD. Top contributor here at Mike Drop Sports. Mark Collins. Peyton Wilson will dominate this year. And Harrison is a guy a guy is taking about is running stuffing inside outside linebacker special teams. Yeah, I think both can be very good. I think Peyton Wilson has a real breakout year. I said he was going to be the steal of that draft class, and I believe that to be true. He made some really significant plays. You saw him score a touchdown in Cincinnati. You saw him make an amazing interception against Lamar Jackson in Pittsburgh. So you saw some of the plays, and I believe just now with more reps and more time in the National Football League, you were going to see Peyton Wilson take a dramatic step playing beside PQ. I believe Peyton Wilson is going to be a guy that you hear a lot about here in 2025. Oh, he's talking to Boomtown. Boomtown giving up assets and paying him a huge contract. I doubt it. Yeah, I mean, probably not. It's not going to probably happen. I meant to say Najee Harris. Yeah, that's all right, Tom. I can decipher, baby. We'll get you. Waving that towel for Miss P. We appreciate that. Malachi Smith, catch any of the Rogers, Tomlin, TJ, and Cam on Pat McAfee shows? I did. I caught a little bit of it, Malachi, and I really was excited when the fans were super behind Aaron Rodgers. And yeah, I get it. Aaron Rodgers won a championship, and he beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that hurts. But Aaron Rodgers is back with the Steelers, and nothing would be sweeter than him getting back that seventh, what should have been that seventh Lombardi trophy for the Steelers, getting that back and giving that back to the fans of Pittsburgh, giving that back to the city, and giving that back to the franchise would be a absolute storybook ending, and it would be things like it would be honestly what movies are made of. You couldn't even write a movie script that good. Daniel Warman, Aaron Rodgers can read a defense just like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. If he stays healthy, it's bad news for opposing teams. Yeah, that's the thing. Definitely. And Daniel puts it well if he stays healthy, and that's the biggest concern for everybody. This is the roughest game out there, man, and injuries happen, and that's the big thing. That's where you need luck on your side in football, and that's the injury department. Foot's big. I'm excited for football, like always, but I think Tomlin will let us down once again. I hope not, though. Yeah, I'm preaching the same thing as I did last year. Foot's big, and you know this from last summer. I preached it over and over, and I can't say it anymore. Tomlin has to adjust. He has to change. And it's the same things I mentioned last year. Situational football, roster management, and getting out of his own way. Stop micromanaging. Stop being ultra conservative in situations that don't call for it. And the Steelers got to be able to open things up a little bit. Let your coordinators coordinate. Mike Tomlin has to do those things. Mike Tomlin, in my eyes, hasn't had a Hall of Fame back half of his career. The front part of his career, amazing in my eyes. I thought he did very well. He is a player's coach. Players love him. But on the field, in terms of production, yes, no losing seasons. But where it counts, where the money's earned, where you write checks, that's where teams want to write checks for. Guys that win playoff games. Mike Tomlin has not had that success, and it can't be overlooked. And he has to figure that shit out. P. Wilson will probably be a Pro Bowler this year. Absolutely, I believe it. The Pro Bowl's awesome in terms of just being selected to it, but the game is so bad. Mark Collins, if this offensive lineman predicts, yeah, that's going to be a big one, Mark. Ain't no party like a Diddy Party Ford from Tom Ford. I believe the only reason Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl was because the higher ups wanted Aaron Rodgers to have a ring. I don't know if that was the case, but I do know Rashard Mendenhall's fumble really sucked, and not having all-pro Marquise Pouncey hiking the football to Big Ben Roethlisberger was a big, big difference maker too. When you ain't got the anchor of your offensive line, man, it's hard to win a championship. And that was really, really painful for the Steelers. But Rashard Mendenhall, despite what he wants to say on some of these shows he's went on, he calls everybody a racist. He says, everybody's just against him or out to get him. No, you didn't hold on to the football. You fumbled. Plain and simple, bro. Did it cost us the game? In my eyes, I thought it was a big contribution to the Steelers losing. But it is what it is. I won't put it all on his shoulders because it's the ultimate team game. But man, he didn't do us no favors, man. Armand Prone. If Tomlin will defer a little to Arthur and Rogers on D, it appears they are trying to give different looks. Yeah, that's going to be ultra imperative, Armand. Being exotic on the defensive side of the football is a must, especially with the personnel the Steelers possess right now. Even with the subtraction of Minka, the Steelers possess a personnel grouping all over that defense in every single room that warrants being exotic, being different, bringing pressure from different locations. And if Mike Tomlin can take his thumb off of Terrell Austin, you will get to see the real Terrell Austin, a guy that likes to utilize the blitz, a guy that likes to bring pressure and disguise his pass pros, a guy that is going to be out there doing some different things and bringing some heat, man. And that's what Arthur or Terrell Austin is all about. So hopefully we'll get to see that look from Terrell Austin this year and actually get to see Terrell Austin and what he can really, really do as the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive coordinator. Mark Collins, if the offensive lineman protects Aaron Rodgers in the passing game and they run block, we win a buck of games. Yeah, we might win a bunch of games, no doubt about it. Tom Ford says the Pittsburgh Steelers clearly outplayed the Green Bay Packers in that Super Bowl. They did. They outplayed them in a lot of ways, except for the score. Sleeping Lady Terry McLaurin asking for a trade now, according to Adam Scheffner. Yeah, but man, guys, for the Steelers to get him, I'm not saying it's an impossibility. I'm not saying that. But for the Steelers to get him and pay two wide receivers $30+ million a year is going to be difficult. It is. It's going to be. Can it be done? Yes. But we also have to take into consideration a very Steeler like tradition. They always leave some cap space to break glass in case of emergency during the season, in case they have to sign somebody so it doesn't put them behind the eight ball in the 2025 or the next season. They always like to have that cap space. They don't want to go and mortgage the future to have to sign a replacement if somebody goes and gets a catastrophic injury. So the Steelers always like to have a $8 to $10 million little flex in their cap. So that's another thing to take into consideration. But this has been a very unsteeler like offseason, and getting scary Terry McLaurin isn't out of the realm of possibility. They do possess 12 picks. They do have tremendous hope in Will Howard. They love Aaron Rodgers. And if Aaron Rodgers maybe, just maybe, he sticks around for an extra year, there's a lot of variables at play. And I believe there's a lot of internal discussions that would have to happen immediately now instead of watching them all play out. And definitely the addition of a Terry McLaurin would be absolutely insanity for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it would put the AFC North on notice that they were very, very serious about winning the championship. And I would hate to play them on a Sunday if they had that, because they will be so tough defensively and offensively. Uh, Rock Taylor is playing well. I don't think he makes the final roster, but practice team. That's going to be all dependent on, do they add another wide receiver? But Rock Taylor could push a guy like Scotty Miller out and be that fifth wide receiving target mark. So Rock Taylor has impressed so far during camp, but again, it's been such a small sample size, and he is a rookie. But one thing that's working for him is he is in a room right now that doesn't have a definitive number two. So there are opportunities to make this football team. Does a Ben Skoranek beat out a Rock Taylor, or does Rock Taylor beat out a Ben Skoranek? It's going to be a battle for that fifth spot. And if the Steelers go out there and get another wide receiver, it's going to be a battle between Scotty Miller, Ben Skoranek, and Rock Taylor for that game day fifth wide receiver. And definitely, I think all three have the ability to make the team. And I think Rock Taylor's the most exciting out of all of them because he's the youngest. He's a rookie. But you look at Ben Skoranek, his contributions on special teams are amazing. And I like him in the pass game, and he's willing to block downfield. So I think it's going to be really interesting to watch that battle play out. And that's another battle I want you guys to keep an eye out on. That last wide receiver spot for the Pittsburgh Steelers. How does that all fit together? Does a rookie like Rock Taylor get the nod? Or is it going to be a Ben Skoranek or Scotty Miller or somebody of that nature? But I believe the Steelers keep 5 wide receivers in my eyes. Wave that terrible towel for Miss P. We're going to start wrapping it up here, guys. Tom Ford, ain't no party like a Diddy party. I will buy a McLaurin jersey if the Steelers sign him. Hell freaking yeah, man. I'm done buying jerseys, though. Every jersey that I have, everybody's gone. Except now, I got Big Cam. I got Big Cam Hayward. We had Pat Fryermuth. This jersey's still here. Watt. Sean did donate that back. He did win. So we will do that again, but I'm going to save it here for when the season starts. I think that'll be cool. But Sean did win the giveaway, and instead of taking it, he cares more about you guys than he cares about himself. So he said donate it back and raffle it off. So we will do it again. So somebody else will get a chance at doing it. But you're going to have to be a Mafia member. We'll start getting the memberships back up once the season starts. And I got to figure out a way to reward you guys besides just giveaways. I got to do members only watch alongs or something for the games. But we'll see how that goes. I'm going to plan something. I got to do something. Armand, if Pittsburgh had the line Brady had in Tampa, he could help Pittsburgh into a Super Bowl. Yeah, it could help them in, no doubt. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up, man. We truly appreciate you. Let me make sure I didn't miss any comments. Robert Road, we'll make Robert Road is the last comment of the night. Ben S. went down today. I don't know how serious it is. He is great on special teams, which would give him a big advantage for making the roster. He did go out, but I believe it was either dirt in his eye or he just fell awkwardly. He did return to practice, Robert. So, yeah, he was out for a very brief period of time during practice and did make a return and was able to finish practice today. So I didn't include that in the injury report because it wasn't significant enough in my eyes to cause Ben to be out for any period of time. So if that changes, I'll make sure that I jot that down. But Ben Skoranek did go down today, but I believe it might even have been dirt kicked up in his eyes. He was not out for long, and he did return to practice after meeting with the trainers. Enjoy the game, everyone. Great show as usual. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. Thank you, Foots Big. Appreciate you. Thank you, Miss P. Dang, yes, Robert. Yeah, no doubt. Sleeping Lady, the only jersey I ever bought was Mario Lemieux, computer logo, Pens jersey. Still have it. That's awesome. Hey, and no better to buy than the great one, Mario Lemieux. All right, guys, I'm going to get up out of here, and we truly, truly appreciate you guys. And I got to get a hold of J-Hook. He's another person I haven't seen hell or high water of. Everybody bailing on old boy Double J here. I gotta talk to my boys. I've been busy and I haven't even been messaging people. I gotta get better. So we'll get everybody back in the fold. And until tomorrow, peace.
Power takes an approach as a coach.
Let's go. Let's go. It's a field back block, and that's
He's the guy that rolls his body around.
Mic drop.